by my watch. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I am Mario Gangemi, the chair of the MDTA Capital Committee, and conducting today's meeting, which I call to order at 9 a.m. In accordance with the live streaming law, this meeting is conducted via video conference and live streamed on the MDTA Capital Committee page. As a reminder, all members of the Capital Committee will have their video active during the entirety of the meeting. To minimize background noise during the call, I do ask that everyone on the line mute your phones, unless of course you are presenting or answering a question, and we would ask that you have both your video and audio on when speaking, and when done, turn your video off, unless you're a board member, and put your audio back on mute. Today, there are no members of the public, no elected officials, and no media that have pre-registered to comment, so we can move on to agenda item number 1, which is approval of the open session meeting minutes of April 3rd, 2025. I will entertain a motion. So moved by Member Cox. I need a second.
I second, Member Cordova.
All right. Ms. Cordova seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, that was everybody. Now we can move on to Sonia, who's going to talk about the radio rebroadcast and radio acts in the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel and Fort McHenry Tunnel, which is MA 3017-0000. Sonia, you are on.
Hey, hi, good morning. I'm Sonia Thomas, ITS and Electrical Discipline Manager at Office of Engineering. I'm going to present the contract MA 3017 radio rebroadcast system replacement for FMT and BHT tunnels. The work to be performed under this contract is located at FMT and BHT tunnels on I-95 and I-895 in Baltimore City. The existing RRBS in both tunnels reached its end of life and no longer have the flexibility to be upgraded or enhanced due to the custom software and the age and availability of head-end components. This project involves the full replacement of the existing RRBS in both the FMT and BHT, ensuring a functional and reliable radio system. The scope includes removal of all existing RRBS equipment and installation of new equipment. The contractor will be responsible for the designing, furnishing, installation, configuration, testing, commissioning, and warranty of the complete RRBS system, including all required hardware, software, and electrical connections. This new RRBS system will provide more FM channels to be rebroadcast and an emergency override capability system to support tunnel operations. This contract is being procured through competitive sale proposal RFP method. The engineer's estimate for this contract was $4,983,500. The contract was advertised on December 1, 2023, and we received 1 technical proposals from SIC Inc. After completing the evaluation of technical proposals, the price proposal was opened on November 11, 2024. The proposal amount was $5,337,386. And a best and final offer, a BAFO, was submitted by SIC on January 29, 2025. And the BAFO amount is $5,711,655. The BAFO price is 14% above the engineer's estimate. We performed a bid analysis between the original bid price and revised BAFO pricing, and the bid price looks reasonable and justifiable. There is no bid protest or rejection. The MP goal for this contract is 6% with no sub-goals. The VSP goal is 1%. The SIC Inc. has submitted an MPE plan with 7.4% MPE and 1.45% VSPE. The MPE plan has been approved by MDTA CRFP office. We are recommending award of this contract to SIC Inc. SIC's technical proposal demonstrated their familiarity with contract scope and specifications, as well as a strong understanding of system requirements. SIC has comprehensive experience and knowledge of the system presented through their project experience and similar tunnel work. They have teamed up with Canem Technologies that has extensive experience in the field of rebroadcast systems and will provide hardware and software for the project. The team also includes MPE firm Intellect Corp. They are the current maintenance contractor for existing RRBS system in both the FMT and BHT. The NTP for this contract is anticipated in July 2025, and the contract duration is 548 days for the construction from the NTP date. We are seeking the recommended approval from the Capital Committee to present this contract to the full MDTA board in anticipation of approval for the contract award. Thank you.
I know I have a few questions, but I'll cede it to the committee first. Who has a question?
Yeah,
Is that you? Go ahead.
all
You
right.
need to move your
How
camera
many
a little
actually
bit.
bid on this project? It goes back to 23. So how many actually bid on this project?
Only one, that's SIC.
Huh. And they are the current vendor?
No, they are not I mean, the one of the MPE firm, the bidded with the job, they are the current software maintenance contract. I mean, they are the current maintenance contractor for the current system. The MPE firm, Intellect Corporation. They are also part of this bid with SIC.
Have we had satisfactory work done by this firm? Or they've never done any work for us?
No, I think this is their first project in Maryland.
Interesting. Jeff, do you have a comment on it?
Yes. For the record, Jeff Davis, Division of Procurement. Yeah, I wanted to say that we did, reference checks and we looked at past projects. This firm does have experience in this work, and they have partnered with subcontractors that have worked on this system in the past. So we felt that they were qualified to do the work. And being a new contractor, we will pay close attention during the contract management to make sure they understand MDTA's ways and expectations. So yeah, we always want a closer hand with the newer firm until they understand how things are run here. But the procurement officer felt that their proposal met our needs, and engineering felt that they were qualified to do the work.
Thank you.
So based on that question, would it be a fair request that if this contract's ultimately approved, is it worth, since they're a new contractor, to maybe periodically report into the Capital Committee and just let us know how they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'd perhaps defer to construction, but we can work together to give an update.
It doesn't have to be long, just, thumbs up, thumbs down, how's it going? Just make it a 30-second update, because they're new to us, they're new. So I think the questions are valid. Any other questions?
No, I agree with you, Chairman. I mean, that's why I brought it up. I think being new, I agree. If we have an update, that'd be great.
Yep. Marisol.
Yes, I think, Sonia, you mentioned that there's a bit of a price difference between the bid and the BAFO, best and final offer.
Yes.
Can you clarify what the scope or schedule changes or what changed between one step and the next?
So for the initial proposal, they haven't included an engineer's office, and there was like a N+1 redundancy technology option we wanted to accept based on their technical proposal. So we asked them to include this N+1 redundancy option and also include the engineer's office. So that's the growth of $300,000 from the initial to the second proposals. But we put a request to them to submit a BAFO offer, including these two.
Okay, thank you.
So along those same lines, thank you, because I had very similar questions. I see some pretty disparaging, percentage difference between the engineer's estimate and theirs, specifically in the schedule. I mean, I could kind of see a bar chart as being something that's normally done. So when it's off by 1,000%, I had, questions resonating in my head. And also the design, documentation, and meeting support, and of course the office. So is there any discussion on that? The good news is there were some others that were -53. So again, the big ones caught my eye.
Oh, okay. So you mean from the engineer, like line item, like
Yes.
RRBS documentation?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 1002, 1003, 8001. I mean, those were big differences in the estimated between the engineer's estimate and their bid.
Yeah. So yeah, that 8,001 item, like I think like we underestimated a little bit on the. This is like they have to provide us a 50% design and 100% design. This was an RFP procurement, so we only provided like a performance and functional requirements. So they have to develop the design documentation, and I think I mean overall the bid looks balanced. Just one item they have put in more amount in their bid for the design documentation. But when we look overall, all the items, it looks balanced. I mean, yeah, I think like we underestimate a little bit on the design documentation part, and they have putting more money towards that compared to the other items.
When was the engineer's estimate performed, Sonia?
It was back in 2023 because this job was advertised in December 2023.
And it was not updated for this bid, right?
No, I mean, we advertised in December 2023 and we opened the technical proposal on March 2024. And we took some time to review the technical proposal. There was a panel of engineers, procurement officers, like, so it took some time to review, and we had like a lot of follow-up questions, mostly on the technical aspects of the technical proposal. And we sent back around like 65 questions back to SIC, and they have responded very well to all those questions. They have really good understanding and agrees to most of our RFP requirements, that's why we qualify them. And they had some questions for, I think like there were two set of questions. We had some follow-up on the first set of responses, and they gave us response back again. So from March to November, this review process was taking place, and in November we opened the financial proposal. So basically they submitted this financial proposal in March, but we only opened that in November. And when the BAF was submitted, I think they have increased all the items a little bit to account for the inflation, I guess, like just 2 or 3% total across all the items.
Okay.
Looks like Jeff wants to comment.
Well, I was going to talk about the inflation piece and the extended evaluation because of the single proposal, but Sonia covered it. So
She did. You must have taught her well. Sam, you got any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
So Member Cox
Second.
motions to approve, Member Sneed seconds. Any further discussion? I guess the only thing I would throw in there is only having one bid's a little disappointing, considering we seem to be in a little bit more of a competitive environment. And I would have thought we would have had more than one, but you can only get what you're going to get. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that was everybody. Sonia, you are not yet off the hook because you're going to talk to us about HT 3020-0000, which is the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel lane use signal extension.
Yes. Let me get that. I thought like I am the third. Okay, but it's okay. I have the script. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to present the contract number HT 3020, the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel lane use signal extension. So work to be performed under this contract is located at the I-895 BHD facility between North Portal of BHD and north of Lombard Street interchange in Baltimore City. This project is to install additional ITS systems that will provide support to operations with newly installed gates, which facilitate the two-way operations at the BHD. The project will extend the existing lane use signal system through the corridor, including fiber optic backbone installation, new dynamic message sign, static signs, new CCTV cameras, and electrical feeds for the proposed sites. This contract has been procured through the invitation for the bids capital construction method. The engineer's estimate for this contract was $8,088,817. The contract was advertised on January 7, 2025, and the bids opened on April 2nd. We received 3 bids. The lowest bid was submitted by McLean Contracting Company in the amount of $8,557,000. The bid price is 5% above the engineer's estimate. We have reviewed the bids and found the bid prices to be reasonable and balanced. There are no bid protests or rejection. The MPE goal for this contract is 19% with no sub-goals. The VSP goal is 1%. The McLean Contracting Company has submitted an MPE plan with 23.21% MPE goal and 1% VSPE goal. We are recommending awarding this contract to McLean Contracting Company. McLean has experience working in ITS, signals, lighting, and fiber optics related scope of work for state agencies and other local agencies. They recently completed the HT 3017 contract for MDTA, which is a BHT tunnel fiber improvements, and we have received positive feedback on their performance from the construction. NTP for this contract is anticipated in July 2025, and the contract duration is 730 days from the construction NTP. We are seeking contingent recommended approval from Capital Committee to present this contract to the full MDTA board in anticipation of approval for the contract award. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, question. Chairman? Hello?
Go
Chairman,
ahead.
you're
I
muted.
just
Oh.
Okay, anyhow.
couldn't find the button.
At least we had 3 bids and I see it's 5% over the estimate. And obviously I'm glad we had 3 bids. And McLean, I know we've had contracts with them before. How they performed is the question, or performing.
So one project we recently had with ITS related scope was BHT HT 3017 BHT tunnel fiber improvements project, which happened, I think, it just completed construction back in 2024 beginning. We got really good feedback from the construction on that one. And they have done bigger jobs, but this is the one with the ITS related scope, which is the scope of this job.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Go, Maricela, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So 2 questions. First of all, I don't see the engineer's estimate attached to our agenda here. I assume it's because the variance to the actual bid is very small, so perhaps you didn't feel like you needed to provide the detail. Is that the case?
Over there.
Yeah, that's been normal for us when it's relatively close together like
And
that.
it's pretty close. Okay. And
Yeah.
then my second question is, I know actually the 3 firms and the 3 of them are pretty qualified firms, so no concerns as far as the quality we're going to get. But my concern is that the bid we got from McLean is 8.5 million rounded. And Mona, the next bidder, is at 10.7. So there's a pretty big difference between those 2 bids and the next one, which is 11.1. So is there any concern as far as McLean missing any scope or anything like that?
No, we reviewed each of the bid items where they are like plus or minus from the engineer's estimate, and everything looks reasonable with the current bidding environment, and there are no red flag items where we have to get any questions back to McLean. Everything looks reasonable and within the expectations of the current bidding environments. And yes.
And I think there's a familiarity with the project too, that since they've already done that work with us.
I mean, to your point, like last time for the HT 3017 contract, they bid I think 20% below the engineer's estimate, and we had some concerns and we asked them some questions to know their work understanding on the bid items, and the response was good. But for that project, we were expecting, I don't know, we might expect the change orders because they bid very low, but that job was very good without many change orders. So they completed within their bid pricing last time. So.
And learned our lesson and came up.
Yes.
Darn.
Very good.
Any other questions or a motion for approval?
Motion for approval.
Motion by Ms. Cordova, second by Member Sneed. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Right. Okay, that was everybody. All right, Sonia, we grilled you enough. You can relax now.
Thank you.
Thank you. You did a great job, by the way.
Yep,
Thank
Appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you very much. Good job.
Andrew Lehman is going to talk to us about MA 3023-0000. Someday somebody's going to have to explain the -0000 to me. Generator replacement at various facilities.
Right. Good morning. I am Andrew Lehman, and I'm here to present MA 3023-0000 generator replacements at various facilities. This contract is funded 100% with toll revenues. The work to be performed under this contract is located at 4 MDTA locations: the Baltimore Harbor Tunnel Auto Shop, the Thomas J. Haddam Admin Building, the Bay Bridge Admin Building, and the JFK Substation. The work shall include, but is not limited to, the demolition and replacement of the existing generators, associated cables, and manual and automatic transfer switches. This contract is being procured using the invitation for bids capital construction method. There is one allowance item of $500,000 for miscellaneous work. The engineer's estimate for this contract was $4,086,198.31. It was advertised on September 13th of 2024, and bids were received on April 1st of 2025. 3 bids were received. The low bid was submitted by Glenelg Construction in the amount of $4,109,662 even, and we are recommending award of this contract to Glenelg Construction Incorporated. The low bid price was 1% above the engineer's estimate, and bid analysis showed a balanced bid with most items reflecting the current bidding environment. The MBE goal is 12% with no sub-goals. The SBE goal is 1%. Glenelg Construction has submitted an MBE plan with 12.11% overall goal and a 1% VSBE goal, and has contingent recommended approval from CRFP. Glenelg Construction is a new contractor to MDTA. However, positive references were received from Anne Arundel County, BWI Airport, and Baltimore City when asked about their generator installation work, wherein each of these references has described their work performance as excellent. Glenelg also has a successful history of working on generator removal and installation projects for other state and local agencies. The NDP is anticipated in July of 2025, and the contract duration is 730 days or 2 years for construction. We are seeking contingent recommended approval from the Capital Committee to present this contract to the full MDTA board in anticipation of approval for contract award. Are there any questions?
Chairman, again, I'm happy that, first of all, you had 3 bidders. And obviously, if you've had those references, I'm glad that that's been on the positive. Again, if they're new to us as far as performing a service that obviously the other 2 bidders have done also. I know one of them. And I'm glad that they're a low bidder. I'm glad that finally we're getting something closer. Thank you.
Anybody else for a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Member Cox moves. Member Sneed seconds. He's on the ball today, man.
Yeah, he's awake. He's awake. Woke up
He
early.
is awake. He said he's always up for the 2-year-old. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Awesome. That was everybody. All right. Thank you, Andrew. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Now, Ms. Stump is going to talk to us about the CTP process and additions.
Good morning. I'm Jennifer Stump, the Assistant Capital Program Manager. Today, I'm presenting the Consolidated Transportation Program, or the CTP, process and additions. This information will also be presented to the full board on May 29th. Each year, the Maryland Transportation Authority releases the CTP, which presents MDTA's ongoing and new capital projects for a 6-year rolling period. After approval by the board, the draft CTP is presented to local elected officials and citizens throughout Maryland for review and comment. It is then revised and presented as the final CTP and presented to the board in November for approval to be part of the governor's budget to the Maryland General Assembly in January. The CTP is separated into three parts: construction program major projects, development and evaluation program major projects, and system preservation minor projects. Major capital projects are listed individually, and minor projects are grouped and shown by category of work. The construction program major projects and system preservation minor projects programs include ongoing projects and those projects that are scheduled to begin construction within the 6-year period. The D&E program contains those major projects which are being prepared for possible future addition to the construction program. Projects are moved from the D&E program to the construction program as funds and resources become available and based on merits of the projects. For project selection, MDTA's capital projects originate from a variety of sources. Long-range capital needs includes planned rehabilitation or replacement projects based on life cycle. The expected useful life of a component does not provide an exact rehabilitation or replacement date, but gives an idea of when the MDTA should begin planning and budgeting to address it. Inspection findings used in tandem with life cycle estimates to confirm rehabilitation or replacement is necessary as scheduled or to expedite a project when it is needed ahead of schedule. Regulatory compliance includes projects for EPA mandated storm water management, increased capacity needs based on traffic forecast recommendations, local priority letters or legislative requests established each year as Maryland counties and Baltimore City are asked to submit a list of priorities for the state transportation system. Once identified, projects are prioritized based on customer needs for safety and security or increased capacity through improvements or system preservation. Funding availability to budget for identified projects is based on the MDTA's 6-year financial forecast, which considers estimates of traffic and revenue, the operating budget and capital budget, debt service payments, the potential need for future bond sales and toll increases, and compliance with financial standards. The fiscal year 2026 to 2031 draft CTP includes 9 new projects, which are detailed in Attachment A. The new projects that are added to the capital program is on-call structural repairs, which is a multi-area project, tidings, bridge cleaning, painting, and miscellaneous repairs, which is considered a John F. Kennedy Memorial Highway project, the I-395 deck replacement, which is considered a Baltimore Harbor Tunnel project, replace Erdman Avenue bridges over I-895, which is also a Baltimore Harbor Tunnel project, an environmental on-call 5, which is considered a multi-area project, the Hayden Admin and Police Building Rehabilitation, which is considered a Hayden Bridge project, the eastbound spans full paint Phase 1, which is considered a Bay Bridge project, rehab decks of the eastbound span Phase 2, which is a Bay Bridge project, and fire alarm system upgrades and security system upgrades, which is considered a multi-area project. This concludes the presentation. If there's any questions or concerns.
Any questions for Ms. Stone?
Thanks, Jennifer.
We got to make her sweat a little bit.
Don't.
No. She's like, no, I don't have to.
She's nice, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
She is. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna keep it easy on you, Jennifer.
Good
Well-
summary. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, maybe we'll be harder on Mr. Harkness, who's going to talk to us about both the Francis Sky Key Bridge replacement and Chesapeake Bay Bridge. We'll just introduce him for both of them.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, Mr. Chair.
Mhm.
I'd like to show that the private industry can also be efficient.
For the record, my name is Jim Harkness. I'm the chief engineer for Maryland Transportation Authority, and I am going to be just providing some updates for you verbally today, both, as you said, on the Key Bridge project, as well as some various Bay Bridge projects. So to start with the Key Bridge, obviously, we're using the progressive design and build model. So this is our first time going through that. I just wanted to kind of talk through some of the accomplishments to date
We lost him.
We did lose you.
You're not muted or anything, but we can't hear
No.
you.
Okay.
There we go.
You
We can
got
hear
me?
you now.
You got me
Yeah,
back?
you're back.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't touch anything. I don't know what happened. All right. So on the progressive design build model, since it's our first time, wanted to explain some of the things that are have happened and will be happening. So we have under the progressive design build model, we have a phase 1 services. We also have phase 2. So phase 1 being pre-construction, phase 2 being construction. But in between there, we have some things going on. So earlier this year, you've heard me talk a little bit about extra work authorizations that were done under the phase 1. Now we have upcoming some early work packages. We'll be talking about that a little bit. But for phase 1, just update again, had the approval and NTP given last fall. So the team has been working on concept development, which they completed that effort. So they developed the concept for the bridge. They've submitted their design, which is approaching 50%. So we have that as of late last month. They've also been working out in the field. So they've conducted their field survey and they've finished that. They've been doing geotechnical survey and that work is wrapping up. Leading up to, or going back, I guess, to some of the pre-construction extra work orders that we've issued for them. We did one extra work order to purchase long lead items, the materials necessary for them to conduct the test pile program. Then we issued a subsequent work order or work authorization for the test pile program itself so that they can actually take those materials, fabricate them into the test pile, and then go out and drive those out at the site. So that work is scheduled for July. So we'll have that test pile program occurring in July.
And I want to see that.
Yes, that will be
geotechnical geek coming out. Sorry.
Yeah, that I knew we have you penciled in for that. And then, so that will lead me now to the extra work packages. So on the phase 1 effort, because we have that 50%, we're looking to, go into the, where we're going to be estimating in earnest with possibly coming out with that, the GMP later this year. So in order to continue moving and try to maintain schedule, we have an early work packages, and they would include activities like demolition. Again, ordering long lead items like production pile. So it's the pile for ultimately constructing the foundations on the piers. Trestle materials. The contractor is utilizing a temporary trestle, so purchasing those materials. The installation of the trestle materials, and also leasing a laydown area for these materials. So those are all kind of examples of early work packages that don't fit into phase 2. So what we would do is be coming to the board this month with a modification and amendment to the phase 1 contract. So what we'll be looking for is an item that has a not to exceed amount for it. And we would total these early work packages up and present a not to exceed for the possible packages that would be issued under those. We don't have each discrete item negotiated and agreed to at this time. So that's why we're going to be looking for a not to exceed on those. We've handled our CMAR contracts similarly in the past, where we've requested a not to exceed, and then we were able to issue packages off of that authorization, that approval, and report back on how we did with each of those packages. So that's sort of the overview of Key Bridge and the work that will be upcoming.
Thank you.
And yeah, go ahead, Maricela.
I'm gonna be full of questions, so you can tell me to stop at any time.
No problem.
Because
These meetings are for.
I'm very passionate about progressive design build and alternative delivery, as you all know. So I just have one question for now. And that question is, as part of the progressive design build methodology, we advance packages. So just like you described, Jim, we're gonna see all these early packages and all of this phasing, which is great because that's the only way to really advance a project like this on a timely manner, right? So that's all great. My question is, as the design progresses and the activities start happening and we start getting not to exceed contracts and GMPs for each of the different packages, do we have progressive estimates as well for each of these packages that the team is working on?
Yes, so our independent cost estimator is also estimating these at the same time.
That was my next question. Great.
Yeah, so we do have a independent cost estimator, and actually we are going to be bringing on an additional independent cost estimator as a blind estimate. So we are going to be performing those estimates as well. So.
Perfect. Those are great best practices for progressive design build, and CMAR, I'm sure everyone knows. So thank you. Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right.
With the, I have a question regarding the Bay Bridge. With the recent reports, I know we had some discussion about this at the last board meeting, but has that accelerated any progress on the NEPA being completed and possibly design moving forward? Is that an impetus for that moving forward?
I saw Bruce popped on. I don't know if you wanted to.
I was just going to ask him to give you a chance to get to the Bay Bridge because that was your next item.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to try to transition to that. Yeah. So thank you, Member Sneed. Yeah, with that question, I'll if there's nothing else on Key Bridge, I'll move on to our Bay Bridge, what I was calling sort of like a projects coordination. So the Bay Crossing study Tier 2 is one of those projects, and it is underway, and we are making good progress. We're still on schedule. We're looking to go out to the public this late summer, fall, with more information. So we'll be having some public meetings there, and ultimately we're looking to kind of complete the phase 2 or Tier 2 effort by next year, at the end of the year. So we are on schedule for that. So I hope that addresses that question. If not, you can continue. Basically on this item, just wanted to talk through some of the project coordination that we've been doing, some changes to projects and project status for the Bay Bridge. And these things are included in the upcoming 6-year draft CTP. So you just heard from Jennifer about 2 of those projects that we're calling that were new projects. So I'll be covering those as well. But just to start with, one of the existing projects down at the Bay Bridge that you're familiar with is the BB 3017. That's the eastbound redecking. That is an alternative delivery CMAR project. So we've been working that project for a couple of years with the design and then construction. And so we have issued one package out of that CMAR. We have been working in the section of the eastbound bridge between the suspension span and the through truss. And so that package contained 156 deck panels. To date, the contractor has installed 127 of those 156 panels. That's about 80% complete on the deck panels. All the deck panels are cast. So we have 156 of the deck panels cast. We of those, in order to connect those new panels, we have the closure pours. So we have 15 of the 133 closure pours performed, so just over 10% of those link slab pours connecting the two new panels together. So that is going to be where the bulk of the work happens over the next 2 to 3 months. So we had been working on developing a package 2 that would have been for the sort of the effort on replacing deck panels on the, if you can think of the eastbound bridge heading towards the eastern shore with the big curve approaching the suspension span. That would have been that section. Unfortunately, we weren't able to reach agreement on a GMP for that package with the contractor. So we will not be able to issue that package to our current CMAR contractor, so we will be off-ramping. They do have work that they will be finishing, including those link slabs under the package 1, and they'll also be doing truss strengthening in the section where we have to eventually do these the deck panel replacements. So that leads to one of the new projects you just heard about. We're calling that the eastbound redecking, now phase 2. So the phase 2 will be that section of deck panel that we weren't able to do under phase 1 of the CMAR project. So we have.
Yeah, what was the holdup? Like, what was just because they learned too much on phase 1, and
yeah,
they were concerned at trying to do things at the same unit rates.
Yeah, essentially, I think yeah, I mean, the pricing we couldn't come together on their pricing, knowing where we were with the pricing and what they had changed from, package 1.
So can we know what their pricing would have been if they continued, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So if we're going to be able to do a comparison once we get a bid for phase 2, and we can see if we made out or not.
Right. Correct.
So can you put that on your list of things that we're going to want to talk about in the future?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. So because it's the CMAR project, we have the designer, we have the design, so we'll be able to advance that pretty quickly. So we'll be looking to put out for bid next year on that, just kind of phasing that with some of the other work we have planned. So that's part of the coordination, completing the truss strengthening, getting them out there, and then mobilized and being able to complete that. So naturally, we have phase 1, we have now phase 2. So what is phase 3? Phase 3 would be work in the suspension span. So the deck replacement for the suspension span. And then that would likely just follow the completion of phase 2. But of course, we utilize our inspection findings to sort of continue to observe the conditions of each of these deck sections to really help us make decisions about the timing on the need for these deck replacements. So we may follow it up immediately, or we may have some space where we are able to space that out. So, but suspension span to follow this deck truss section. All right.
Yep. Interesting work.
Yeah. All right. And then, so
hey, Jim, if members need could stay up a little bit later, and I know it's a long trip for him to get to the Bay Bridge, where member Jimmy and I and others viewed the placement of those decks, which was, thank you very much, was incredible, incredible to watch, incredible to understand what you had put together versus years past where the problems were. And I thank you again for that opportunity. So if members need, I know at 8 or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, a little late, but and a long trip for you, I think 2 or 3 hours, you might give it a whirl.
So I had a quick question aside from the deck. Were you going to talk about the dolphins a little bit, or I know it's a separate project?
Right. I was just getting to that one.
Okay. Okay. See,
Sorry.
I'm always trying to.
Sorry to
I'm
keep-
always skipping ahead.
Yeah, sorry to keep putting you off. But so thank you for teeing me up on this. So then we do have a it's not listed as a new project because it was a project initiated last year, but it is a project for bridge protection, going through the concept development and preliminary design phase. Excuse me. Project will construct remedial measures, so not specifically any specific type right now. We're still kind of going through that, but remedial measures to the existing pier protection to better protect the bridge from a mishap like happened with the dolly at the Key Bridge. The current, design and condition of the Bay Bridge, protection does comply with its federal permit. And we don't necessarily have any regulatory obligation to modify them or upgrade the protection, but we do have the project where we are going to be constructing some kind of remedial measures there. So we are working on putting together a plan for how to procure that, likely alternative delivery. Just kind of nuancing which method works best for us here. We anticipate you seeing something later this year being advertised with a hopeful construction start by late next year.
Okay. Any other questions?
Follow-up to that?
Just any other things you want to ask him that he's going to answer anyway?
Chair again, Jimmy, I just wanted to ask a question to James, Mr. Harkness, regarding dolphins. So, what the protective mechanisms? I know this might be putting the cart before the horse, but because the alignments for the new bridge won't really come out at a later date because the NEPA process is still wrapping up in the coming year, is there a way to coordinate and anticipate so that you don't have to essentially destroy the protective barriers to build the new bridge, or they'll just kind of be floating out there on their own if you demolish the old bridge? And it's a lot of money for the barrier, so I'm just trying to figure out, how that's being dealt with.
That's a phenomenal question.
Yeah, great question. And because of where we are with the planning study, we do at least have information right now about alignments. And so with each of those alignments, we can layer that in when we're going through this concept development for the protection, for the remedial measure. And we can sort of design with, some certainty that we'll be able to avoid unnecessary impacts to a possible future project, and even hopefully incorporation into a future project. So at this point where we are in the tier 2, we have enough information that we can be reasonably comfortable that we're able to minimize any impact to a possible future project, but still get what we need out of the current project in terms of protection measures for the existing structure.
I favored the term integration, because when you're expending that much in terms of funds, and then you're also potentially building a new bridge, if it's integrated, it's good use of total users' money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't want to completely create an obsolete product. I know it'll take time for the Bay Bridge potentially to be rebuilt after the tier 2's done, designed and built. But you don't want to create an obsolete measure.
No, absolutely.
Jim, One question, how far are you along on the NEPA study at this point?
For the Bay Crossing, sir?
Yes.
So we will have our preferred alternative later this year.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Jim.
And one final project, real quick, just on Bay Bridge. You heard about it from Jennifer. It's the painting. So we have an eastbound contract for painting, and it's gonna sorry.
I'm trying to figure out who to text in your building to get you some water there.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. Get him a glass.
Poland is really high today, so.
Yeah.
Might be part of that.
I just I lost my voice. Sorry.
It went the wrong way.
Yep. So
We can hear you. Just relax.
Okay, no, I guess yeah, I've been there too. Takesta is can he pick up on the painting?
Yes. Yes, good morning, members, chairman. My name is, for the record, Takesta Amara. I'm a deputy director of engineering and project manager for the painting. So I can say a few words about the painting. Painting, usually after 20 years of age, you typically have to start thinking about repainting the bridge. So in this case, for the Bay Bridge, the eastbound bridge, we're cleaning and painting the truss, basically the truss superstructure, below the girders, below the deck. For the first phase, since it's a very long bridge, as you know, 4 miles, we will do this in phases. So similar to what we did for the westbound a few years back. Phase 1 will be the location which was currently replaced. The deck is replaced basically between the suspension span and the through truss span. So that section of the bridge, now that the decking is being wrapped up, we will continue with the painting. Additionally, we will paint the towers below the deck. So look at the suspension spans, the towers, those big finger joints, when they leak, the bottom of the towers have some corrosion. So we will take care of that as part of this project as well. We actually are trying to, advertise hopefully by the end of the year. Currently, we are working on the design and preparing the IFP and contract documents to be able to advertise. Of course, we'll go through some processes like PLA, we'll go to the PRG and so on, and go to procurement. But we feel like we can do this, quickly. That way, we will have a contiguous work for the Bay Bridge due to the numerous needs. So in short, this is what the project looks like. It's going to be IFB, not RFP, and competitive bidding, and we have good experience in the past with painting. We know what to do, what to expect. So not a very complex project, but we hope to get good prices and continue to preserve the bridge. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Yeah, real quick, has the process changed or the materials changed? Like, are we improving so that, what lasted 20 years will now last 25 years, 30 years? Has it gotten any better yet? I mean, I know it's a tough environment. I get that. Just curious.
Yeah, we rely on the industry mostly in terms of the material quality and the operations. So it may be how they clean and paint, those big machines that clean and blast. There are some improvements here and there that the industry is presenting to us. From our end, we try to perfect our specification, so to say, from experience from other bridges, right? Whether it's the Bay Bridge itself or recently we're doing the Haddam Bridge, and we plan to do the tidings too. So we have good experience with painting, and we have we had learned a few things here and there, especially with the Bay Bridge. One thing we learned was that the containment, when you contain it, you may remember a while back, the bridge moved because we were just, not letting the wind pass through these trusses. Yeah, so that lessons learned has prompted us to do specifications about the containment. That way we don't deal with that emergency. So things here and there. Not sure if I can put a number on how many years, we're getting additional years, but,
yeah,
but
I didn't know if there was any newer coverings that had gotten better that had a longer life. That's all. But
all right, a question
sure
for you, just on the Haddam Bridge. I go over it fairly often. I'm sure Member Jimmy does also. How are we coming along as far as the painting and on budget and your performance of the contractor? I have you on that subject.
Yeah, to date, I think we have good progress, and haven't heard any really hiccups or any major problems. So it seems to be going well.
I'm back. I got my voice back. Sorry about that.
And you look much better too.
Thanks for stepping in there, Tegesta. Yeah, on the Haddam Bridge, we are making great progress, actually. And so they have completed a large portion of that work and are definitely tracking ahead of schedule. So that's a good thing. Making, lots of the steel repairs that we're uncovering, and it's good progress. We're really pleased with that contract.
It looks good.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Any further questions? Member Sneed, you want to anticipate his next presentation?
No,
you did great
today. You might want to loosen your tie a little bit.
Thank you.
I've done that before.
That's all good. Marisol, do you have any closing questions?
No,
Jim,
thank you for the brief. This was very interesting. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, glad you're better.
Yeah. So
yeah. I'm glad we
have. Did you get any closing remarks before I entertain a motion?
Yeah, I'd appreciate just one quick second. I just want to compliment the team. I mean, this is the planning process for the NEPA study. They're really just getting to the point where we would be telling the public kind of like what the recommendation is for where those two spans would go. So you can imagine all this work that we're doing, all the discussion of everything and how you do it. I mean, we're really aligned right now to make this happen. A lot of, just you get a sense of the complexity. I just want to compliment the team for trying to weave all these pieces together. That the redecking project has been challenging, but, a bunch of us are getting the updates every night when those 3 panels go in, and we get a report in the morning that, once again went in without a hiccup. It's it's a whoop, and they keep moving on. So just wanted to kind of give them some kudos for all that coordination.
Let me tell you something, Bruce. I mean, being there and watching it was just amazing.
I wonder if some of us got to see it, Bill and I specifically. I wonder if we ought to arrange another visit to do that again, because that was I don't want to get in the way of construction. I'm not suggesting that, but if there's an opportunity, Sam, I suspect, would love to see it. Maricela would love to. It's pretty cool. I mean, the cool thing is to know that the crane operator can't see what's going on. They're literally radio instructions and sign language. It's really, to see it in operation the way we saw it was pretty daggone incredible.
Were you on a vessel?
I agree with.
Were you on a vessel out
Jimmy,
there?
It's good to be there for the other members that haven't seen it.
Yeah, we were up top, Sam. We were on the bridge.
On the bridge itself. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we were on the bridge, and
okay.
We realized that while we were up there, I mean, he's moving, he's pulling the one off, he's putting the one on, and he can't see.
And how
It
they were
was-
doing with the barges is just amazing.
They had two cranes operating, one taking it off, one putting it on. It was an incredible operation to see, and it's worth it. But again,
And
only
the other thing we can do, definitely, arrange that, but we can send some links around of some of the video that's been taken up there, because there have
Yeah, that
been
would be-
some good
that would be
videos.
fantastic. They're doing fantastic. It's why it kind of stinks to have a different team for phase 2. So they got it down. They got it down. Because so you guys know, or Maricela knows, they're not just taking concrete deck off and putting concrete deck on. They're doing repairs to the structure underneath as well. So
Right.
it's a pretty incredible, pretty complex project. So awesome. Well,
Great.
that all being said, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Motion.
adjourn. Oh, there's-
Second.
All right. Okay. I'll give Maricela the motion. I'll give Sam the second. And all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, that's
Good
everybody. Everybody have a safe day, and maybe Bill and I will join you on that trip if we have it again anyway.